In this new season, the flag of sackcloth will be waved at the start of a Sophie Scholl monologue. Today, I'd like to talk about a state. But is this state California or mismanagement? Interesting, I've been in contact with somebody who keeps asking me for money. And as they ask me for money, it really pains me. It bothers me because it seems like I'm this guy who's just doling out cash to this person to keep the money flow going in his life. And I've come to a point where I said, I got to stop. I got to stop thinking I'm trying to help a person when me not helping may result in him taking more responsibility for himself. That's what I got to do. Translate that to California. We've all heard about the fires. And when you hear about fire hydrants not having water in them, when you hear about the reservoirs that could have been built to pool a vast quantity of water from the snowmelt, and you hear about these matters like this that really hamstrung the fire departments, which really created difficulties for people in dealing with this devastating situation. When you hear about California and the way they manage their forests, it's irresponsible. They don't clean them out. They leave that underbrush there for kindling when a fire sparks and turns into a raging inferno. This is mismanagement. How much should the federal government help out and assist these climate change cultists? And basically that's what they are. They have their perception about how a state should be run environmentally. And they put a priority on an endangered species when the human population is at grave risk, losing it all. Some have seen their houses in ashes. And interesting, isn't it? Insurance companies have canceled their policies. This happened 5-6 months ago, maybe even less, weeks ago. There's a mismanagement issue in California. So I think of California not as the state of California, but as the state of mismanagement. And how should we, as taxpayers, continue to fund this? Unfortunately, it's not just California. It's also bleeding into New York State big time. When you see what Kathy Hochul and the Democrats in the Assembly and State Senate are trying to do, they are making it more difficult for New Yorkers to live here. We see our heating bills escalate, our electric bills go up. It's all because of their policies. You see, the government isn't really acting as a referee in New York or California. They're more the regulators. And they have this hold over the way in which the people can be free to provide the energy for their cars, homes necessary. It's the government that has the control. Not necessarily the ownership, but the control. And when government has such control as California and New York does over energy policy, what you're seeing here is a manifestation of fascism once again. In a communist system, it's all owned by the government. In a fascist system, you can have your private companies, but the government controls them. There's a lot of control going on in New York and California especially. And we, the people, need to do something about it, calling them out on it, and not continuing to feed this nemesis which is driving people from the state. But you think about it. California, what do? They let illegal aliens flood into the state. So even as the citizens depart from that state, guess what they can do electorally? Maintain their huge advantage with regard to representation in Washington and electoral college votes by having the illegal aliens come in, maintaining, so to speak, the population even as the citizens of the U.S. and of those states exit. The games that the Democrats play, that the leftists utilize, need to be called out. And hopefully others indeed are catching on. That's why I so like our state representative here, George Borrello, because he sees what's going on and he's trying to do something about it. Well, unlike Tony Kornheiser of Pardon the Interruption, I cannot promise you that I'll do better the next time. And unlike Tony, I'll just continue to wave the flag of sackcloth, the flag of sackcloth for humility.